Hello learners, welcome to the course of Fundamentals of Economics and Financial Markets. In the previous two lectures, we have discussed what is consumption function, what is the relationship between income and consumption, and I think by now you must be very clear that one of the important components on which the consumption pattern or the propensity to consume depends is the income. While dealing with this, we came to know that as income increases, what the Keynes psychological law said, as income increases, consumption also increases, but increase in consumption is less than increase in income. So, one question comes in mind, that is it only income that has an impact on propensity to consume, or there are some other factors as well that have an impact on the propensity to consume. So, today we will be discussing various factors that influence along with income on the propensity to consume. We have divided these factors into objective factors, subjective factors, structural, demographic, fiscal policy and demonstration effect. So, learners, let us start one by one with each factor and discuss them. First and foremost, we will be discussing on factors that are objective in nature. First factor that has an impact on our propensity to consume. Propensity to consume, that means the marginal propensity and the average propensity to consume, is the level of income. See, although total expenditure of a rich family is generally much more than the total expenditure of a family who is financially at a lower strata than a rich family. But APC of a poor family or financially low strata family is higher than a rich family. That means what? That means a poor family consumes higher proportion of their income on consumption than rich family. Thus, level of income has an impact on propensity to consume. That means more the wealthier you are, the propensity, mind it, I am not talking of the total expenditure, I am talking of the portion of income, the proportion of income that is being spent as a total wealth. So, level of income do have an impact on propensity to consume. A person with a lower income will have a higher propensity to consume, a higher proportion of their income they are consuming. Reverse is with the person with a higher income. He or she is consuming a lower proportion of the income. Second important concept is the rate of interest. See, classical economists always regarded a negative relationship between rate of interest and consumption. Now, what does this mean? We have discussed it that income of an individual, see, we always say C, we say that income of a consumer is equal to consumption plus savings. From these savings, we are investing. So, if the rate of interest goes high, suppose I am consuming, I have an income of 100 rupees and I am consuming 70 rupees as consumption and 30 rupees is my savings. This 30 rupee I am investing at 5% rate of interest. Now, if the rate of interest goes up, that means this 5% has increased to 7%. As an individual, as a saver in the economy, what would I do? To get a higher rate of interest, it will happen that maybe I reduce my consumption to 60 and increase my investment and saving to rupees 40 to get a higher rate of interest. Thus, classical economists believe that rate of interest and consumption share a negative relationship. However, sometimes there also exists a possibility that there may be a person who wants a fixed income from their saving. Suppose a person targets that annually I should get 50,000 rupees from my savings. Then if the rate of interest goes up, consumption also goes up. On 50,000 rupees, 5% a person is getting. Now, if the person gets 7%, that is 7,000 rupees, the additional 2,000 rupees, what that person will do? He'll say, ki, okay, I am getting what I want as investment. I am getting a fixed amount of income from investment. The rest over and above what I am getting from my satisfaction level will be spent as consumption. So, this kind of situation sometimes is also witnessed in the attitude of a person. Howsoever, what we say, the classical economist said that as the rate of interest goes up, the consumption goes down, because our investment efforts enhances to take advantage of higher rate of interest. Third important factor in the objective factor is the selling effort. Selling effort basically includes, to be simple, I can make you understand, advertisements. Nowadays, social media is so much around that propaganda, making aware of the product, motivates individuals to purchase certain things. Many things we purchase because we are seeing that in an ad, or we met a salesperson who makes us believe that this product is a good product for us to consume. Sometimes we are influenced by the celebrities, they are consuming our product, we are seeing that in the advertisements, and what do? We start consuming that product. So, selling effort in the form of advertisements, in the form of posters, banners, radio, print media, everything helps to increase the consumption expenditure of an individuals. Why? Because these selling effort make us aware more about the products, so we go and purchase. Nowadays, many a times when we go into the shopping mall, what do we see? Window shopping. We go into a shopping mall and go for window shopping, but what do? When we see various products lined up there, many a times it happens, it must have happened with you, it happened with me also, that we go and purchase that particular product just because we are impressed by the product, by the selling effort, we are aware of the product. Fourth important factor is the relative prices. See what happens with the fall in the relative prices of elastic commodities. What happens? There is increase in their demand, and this demand exceeds. If the elasticity of demand of a particular product is high, then what would happen? A slightest change. If you remember, we have done this point in the shifting of taxes in the under the heading incidence of taxes. What do? We do, when the elasticity of a product is high, a slightest change in the price, what would that do? That would lead to more than proportionate change in the quantity demanded. So, if the price goes down for a particular product, what would happen? The quantity demanded would increase. Howsoever, if the product is inelastic, then there will be no change of the price on the quantity demanded. So, relative price also has an impact on the consumption expenditure. Then comes the capital gains. See, one of our investment avenues is, for example, I say shares. We can purchase shares. Suppose I have share of say 50,000 rupees and the market goes up. When the market goes up and my purchase price is now lower than the actual market price of the shares, what would I do? I will go and sell my shares in the capital market, and now I sell my shares at suppose 70,000 rupees. So, what do I get? An additional capital gain of 20,000 rupees. This additional capital gain, this profit what I have earned from selling of my shares, helps in influences the propensity to consume as it would increase my income and I start spending more. See, this was one of the reasons when American boom was witnessed in late 20s, and this capital gain helped to increase the consumption spendings of the individuals. Next is volume of wealth. If an individual has wealth accumulated, if we have assets apart from income, we have a house, we have jewelry, we have other assets accumulated, then what happens? As the volume of wealth increases, the consumption expenditure also increases. The consumption curve will shift upwards. We will start spending more, thus thereby producing higher APC at each possible level of aggregate income. The average propensity to consume would definitely increase. That means we will be in a condition, if we have wealth accumulation, then we can spend higher proportion of our income. That would enhance our propensity to consume. Stock of money. One portion of wealth is held in the form of money. Wealth has various portions in the form of assets as well as liquid form. See, if a person is basically by attitude a dissaver, what would happen? The amount of money which he or she has in liquid form, that would be spent easily. Many a times you must have witnessed that if you have cash in your pocket and you are not a very that kind of person who doesn't want to spend, then what happens? If you have cash, that cash easily gets spent. As soon as you see the products or the goods or the services which have utility for you, or you have a liking for that good, so it is easier for a person to dissave his wealth if it is in liquid form. Consumer stock of durable goods also influence the propensity to consume. If the consumer stock, we have a sofa, furniture, other furnitures in our house, car, fridge, we have a good house, these are all durable goods. So, if consumer stock of durable goods increases, then what would happen? We can spend a higher proportion of change in income, that is the disposable income. APC would definitely increase. Deferred demand is another factor. Sometimes what happens is, because of certain situations, like it was in COVID, what happened? We were restricted in our home, we cannot go at public places, we cannot go to any kind of outing was there. So, many demands were postponed. Many things that we wanted to purchase, spend our income into it, were postponed. So, as soon as the COVID restrictions liquidated, then what did happen? Suddenly what happened? People started spending. Why? Because these demands were their deferred demand. Similar was the case after World War II. The deprived demand, the many inlying demands of individuals were not fulfilled because of the situations outside, and as soon as the World War II ended, these demands came out and people started spending and the consumption expenditure increased. See, it is written that high post-war consumption is an example of increased deferred demand. Social insurance facility also have an impact on the propensity to consume. See, if we are in a country where we have old age pensions, we have social security schemes in the form of health facilities, then we are into a situation where we are into a relief situation that, okay, social security schemes are with us, so we need not worry too much about our future and save accordingly. So, what do? In current time, we spend a higher proportion of our income. So, consumer expenditure in developed countries and now in fast developing countries is the enormous provision of social insurance. Terms of consumer credit. If the terms of consumer credit are easy, that means the consumer can get credit loan at easier policy, at easier procedure, it is easy to get, then what happens? This terms of credit, if it is easy, it is not very stringent for the consumer can go and have loans for various things, for various goods and services, like people have loans, have credit facility for education is there, for car is there, even for mobile phones credit facilities are available, in installments we can pay. This increases the consumption expenditure. So, higher propensity to consume than if terms of credit were very strict. Apart from objective factors what we discussed, there are certain subjective factors which are also called as psychological factors. Psychological factors are beset in our values, in our attitude, in our state of mind. If by nature we are dissaver, what would happen? That is our attitude. If by nature we are dissaver, what would we do? We will spend a higher proportion of our income on the consumption expenditure. That means we will have a high propensity to consume. On the contrary, if we are misers, if we do not want to spend, misers is a very extreme situation howsoever, but if we are a saver to a higher extent, then what would we do? We will spend a lower proportion of our income on consumption. Many a times, as Keynes said, that motives to consumption are also influenced by enjoyment. At every weekend we want to go out, we want to have a dinner outside, we want to go out on a recreational place, or we want to go out and see a movie as a part of our enjoyment, which is correct, but that enhances your propensity to consume. As a proportion of your income you are spending more. Generosity, sometimes miscalculations about your budget also leads to increase in propensity to consume. These all factors, our habits, our attitude, our taste, our preferences lead to the determining factor that what proportion of our income will be consuming or what will be the propensity to consume. Thus, howsoever we say that a simple logic of rational behavior, what does that suggest? That a consumer who expects to an increase either in his income or price level must consume more. Howsoever, who expects a decrease or no change should spend accordingly. See, at the time of festivals, we expect that bonus would be given. So, our propensity to consume enhances as we foresee that our income would increase in that particular month. Factors like distribution of income in structural factors do have an impact. More equitable distribution of income, larger will be the propensity to consume. Smaller will be the gap between have and have nots. More equitous will be APC and MPC, because APC of higher is and lower income group have a wide difference. So, if the income distribution is equitable, it is more towards the difference goes on reducing, the propensity to consume would be higher in an economy. Certain demographic factors do have an impact, like the size of the family. See, if more people are there in our family, we have more family members, the propensity to consume of that family is higher than propensity to consume of the family in which the members in the family are less. Thus, spending larger families is greater than that of smaller families. Second is stage in the life cycle of the family. That means what kind of generation your family is having. If in a family more young and college going children are there, then the propensity to consume of that family is higher, as they are not earning, but in education, in various activities relating to children and young children, the propensity, the higher proportion of the income is spent. Similar is the case if our guardians, our elders are more in the family, then also the propensity to consume is higher because of the expenditure on health, because of other expenditures related to it, the propensity to consume is higher. Place of residence also have an impact. People residing in urban space have a higher propensity to consume as they have more goods and services available to them. The availability is also at a high price than in rural families. So, in urban family, the propensity to consume is high. Occupation of an individual also determines propensity to consume, like small businessmen, farmers, working class are more high savers, salary earners than the other occupations. So, their propensity to consume who are more savers is less than those who are more spending on the consumption. Home ownership, like renters save less than persons paying off mortgage. If the person is paying, have taken loan from a bank and purchased a house, then that person is a more saver, his propensity to consume is less than a person who is receiving rent for his or her house. So, these factors were the demographic factors, but these factors change over a period of time. In short run, it is not easy to have a change in these factors, but in long run, these factors do have an impact on the propensity to consume. Fiscal policy is also a tool that has an impact on your consumption function. If, see, under fiscal policy, if we talk of two important tools, one is taxation and the other is public expenditure. If the government has imposed higher tax, our income Y is C plus S plus G, we say. C plus S plus G is government spending, or we say the disposable income is the income that we get after payment of taxes. Taxes, a compulsory payment that is imposed on an individual without any direct real benefit to the taxpayer. So, if the rate of tax imposed increases, earlier the rate was 5% and now the rate increases to 10% on the same base, on the same income, what would happen? You are paying more tax, that means your disposable income would reduce and so will your propensity to consume. Reverse happens if the tax rates are lowered down. On the contrary, if the government increases public expenditure, any expenditure incurred by the government on itself or on the economy as a whole is termed as public expenditure. So, if public expenditure increases, government provides more subsidy, more health facilities, better education facilities at a lower payment of fees or free education. So, what happens? This shifts the consumption curve at a higher or towards up. That means the propensity to consume increases. Another important effect that was given by James Dusenberry was the demonstration effect. See, it must have happened with us, every one of us, once, twice, many a times. Sometimes we even don't realize and this effect comes on us. Like we start consuming a particular good, we start availing a particular service when we meet our peer, when we meet our friend, when we meet sometimes our neighbor, we try to imbibe his or her sense of consumption, if we have utility from that. So, he said that when developing country come into contact with the people of developed country, this contact tends to increase the consumption expenditure of the people of the developing country. We can give an example that earlier a person is not drinking any kind of soft drink, but his or her friends drinks. So, what happens? Slowly you also start consuming that thumbs up or any kind of Limca or any Sprite, any soft drink. This happens with tea. Most common example is if your friend is consuming tea, you also slowly start consuming tea. So that increases your consumption expenditure. Even during recession, consumption is sustained by reduction in current saving. We try to maintain it. Later on, when we will be dealing with the consumption hypothesis, there is a proper hypothesis given by James Dusenberry, in which he has clearly explained this, how the consumption is sustained by reduction in current saving and what this effect is called. These were the factors that have an impact on propensity to consume. Now, sometimes to increase the velocity of circulation, to increase the consumption expenditure, certain measures can also be adapted in the form of income redistribution that will enhance, that will increase the propensity to consume. If redistribution of income is in the favor of poor, that means the difference between have and have nots is reduced. Policy measures undertaken by the government helps to redistribute the income in favor of poor. That would definitely increase the propensity to consume. Increased wages. If we increase the wage of the labor, he will have a higher proportion of income with him, so his propensity to consume will increase. However, in short run, if the wages are increased, but the marginal productivity of labor is not increasing. Marginal productivity means change in total productivity by employing one more labor. See, if 10 laborers were employed and they were producing say 200 units, and we employ 11th labor and the production increases to 210, that means what? That individual labor's marginal productivity is of 10 units. So, in short run, the marginal productivity of labor would not increase, or it is difficult to increase the marginal productivity of labor. So, sometimes wage increase, instead of having a positive, does not serve in that sense with which it has been introduced. However, in long run, such wage policy will definitely increase the consumption expenditure, as the wage increase would be along with increase in labor productivity, maybe in the form of enhancement of skills. Social security, old age pension, medical relief, unemployment benefits, these all help to remove uncertainties, and the tendency to save reduces. When the tendency to save reduces, because we are in a securative atmosphere that our health is covered, we are receiving old age pensions, so we are not worried about so much about our future. So, the propensity to consume increases. Similarly is the case with advertisements. More and more advertisements lead to enhancement of consumption expenditure. Many ads we see in the TV, we hear on the FM, in the print media we see various ads, various exhibition ads are there. So, we go to an exhibition, purchase things, consumption expenditure increases, many products we start consuming because we are witnessing the advertisement of that product, that leads to increase in propensity to consume. Development of means of transport. When good developed, nowadays what we see that slowly the means of transport are developed, the roads are well maintained, connectivity of cities have increased. So, product manufactured in one city can easily be transported and made available to the people in other city or other state as well. That availability of product enhances the consumption expenditure. Better and cheap credit facilities also help in shifting the consumption curve upward. So, these were the factors that have an impact on propensity to consume. Along with income, these factors in long and short run do influence our propensity to consume, that leads to change in our APC and MPC as well. So, the self-evaluation question for today is, consumption is affected not only by income alone, but by several other factors. So, enumerate these factors. Hope you will be able to answer this. The selected readings include Edward Shapiro, Oliver Blanchard, William Branson and K.C. Rana and K.N. Verma. This will help you to further enhance your knowledge of the factors. Thank you, learners.